But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face. Sorry about the Fatty first fail right out of the gate. Justin is here tonight, said laying in bed playing fetch with the cat. I didn't know you could play fetch with a cat, but that's actually awesome.
No, news to me.
So, Brian, what's going on, bud? It is chilly. It is snowy. Did you survive the snowmageddon that happened on Sunday?
Yeah, it was. And I say thank God it happened on a Sunday, because if it happened on like a weekday when I had to work or something, we bat down the hatches. We're just sitting inside all day, planning for it, waiting on football to happen. So I was out there, I think 3 separate times on Sunday shoveling, and then a couple times on Monday. So just thankful that it happened when it did. But other than that, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I was at work pretty much most of the day on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I figured I didn't want to rub it in or anything, but
no,
I figured it's tough.
They shut everything down, so Sunday wasn't bad. I mean, they shut everything down. So there was nothing open, so it was easy for us. Went up there, cleared it off a lot of times, but man, did we get hammered. Holy hell. And then Sunday night into Monday, it just kept coming again on Monday. We got like another 4 inches on Monday out of the whole rigmarole of whatever it was that was left over. So for all those that are out there, I hope everybody's safe. Like you said, Sunday, thank God it did hit Sunday. Because, Bri, if it would have hit during the week, I mean, it would have killed.
Nightmare.
Franklin County was under level 3 snow emergency. Like, they were not letting people out of their houses down in
what? Oh, Columbus. Yeah, Columbus, Cincinnati. I mean, they got it just as bad as we do, if not worse. And, for us, I feel like this happens maybe once every year or two. So it's not a huge deal. For them, they don't see this type of snowfall ever.
Mike said 16 and a half inches at his house.
Jeez.
I know we got about 14 up here.
We got a good foot for sure.
I know my sister down in Columbus, they ended up with over 16 also.
Jeez.
So it was it kind of hit everybody. And what's really funny is I called my mom to make sure that she was safe, because she lives there by my sister, and she's got these 2 little yippy dogs that seriously are like, one's a pug chihuahua mix. So just imagine that. Just imagine. By the way, my son calls him the little nightmare, is what my son calls this little thing.
Why's that? Because he's loud and obnoxious.
He's just an asshole. He's an asshole. He'll nip at you. He's one of those little assholes. But I guess she had to go out and like dig a path for them to go out and go to the bathroom. And she said that he actually ran underneath all the snow and got underneath the the picnic table outside that she has. And she actually had to go out and get him because he didn't want to come back in after he dug all the way over there. So, yeah, it's this time of year is just crazy. Now we're dealing with negative temperatures. The snow's not going away anytime soon.
No way.
Now we do. I'm just letting you know we're waiting for news to break. We will get into some Cleveland Browns talk here. Mike is here also from the Guards Cast. He had a great show. If you hadn't seen it, go out. Him and Brian talked to Jim Rosenhaus. Had a great show with Rosie last week, so go give them a check out. Giving a little bit of Indians updates and everything else, which we will be talking about the Indians updates here a little bit, because a legend's staying in Cleveland, Bri.
So how about that?
I know, crazy, right? Imagine somebody's here. What's happening, aka Rosie? You'll just have to watch. All right, Brian, let's get into our shout outs, and then we'll get into our trivia. Like I said, our show is brought to you by Harold Keel, Lake Erie APA. Also, City Dogs Cleveland. You can find us on all of our socials at Ham Illegal. Give us that like and subscribe. Help us out here. We're having fun talking sports. Tonight, we're going to get into some Brown searching, head coach searching, talk about the Cavs a little bit, and then we are going to talk about the guards and a legend that decided to stay. Also, top 3 tonight, foods that you ate so much that you just really don't care for anymore. And then our top 3 games when you're stuck inside, you can't go out and do anything. Top 3 games that you play with your family inside. So, with that being said, Brian, do you have any shout outs this week, brother?
Yeah, I guess I'll shout out kind of a somber shout out for my mother-in-law. She had to put her puppy down on Saturday. He was, they think, maybe 10 or at least 12, maybe 13 years old. She got him because she lives out in the country. Somebody just kind of left the dog on their porch 12 years ago, left him for dead, skin and bones, and she brought him in and made his life worth living. And so but unfortunately over the last couple years, ever since he had like a ACL replacement on his knee, he hasn't been able to get around as well, and his back legs were really not doing much of anything, so he was just kind of dragging. So unfortunately it was just time. So yeah, thinking about her, thinking about the family, it was tough because he's kind of seen them through some difficult times. So so it's never easy. Thank God, talking to my wife about it, and you never really know when it's time, and it's such a difficult decision. I'm maybe thankful that I've never been put in that decision, because I don't know if I could do something like that. So but yeah, maybe in the years to come, I'll kind of say, hey, whenever you're ready, go up to City Dogs Cleveland, check out some great dogs. Her dog was kind of like a pit bull boxer mix. So just a great dog, just a big sweetheart. You wouldn't know by looking at it. You'd think it was a mean dog, and but it was just sweet to everybody and sweet to every other dog. So gonna be missed. Spanky. Shout out Spanky.
The only shout out I got tonight is all the people from ODOT. Throughout this snowstorm, doing everything you guys do out there, especially the amount of hours you guys pull, especially during a snowstorm like this. I can't thank you guys enough for keeping the roads safe and clear, especially, hey, even the tow truck drivers, cops, ambulance, firefighters, everybody was out there in this. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen AAA out there pulling somebody out of a snow pile. So just want to thank everybody out there. That's my only shout out. Now, Brian, we do have trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. It is your turn for trivia tonight.
Yep.
Let me play our sounder, and then we will get into our show. All right, Brian. Tonight, Trivia's to You is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. Please go adopt a dog. Get him out of the kennel. Kennels are probably full right now. It is wintertime. Got to keep a dog nice and warm. Why not get a dog from City Dogs Cleveland? Please go and adopt a dog from them. And if you can't adopt, volunteer, donate, do whatever you can to help out a city dog from City Dogs Cleveland. We will have more news with upcoming stuff for them, with fundraisers and everything else that's going on for them. So please go adopt a dog from City Dogs Cleveland. All right, Bri, here we go.
Yep, I got some football trivia for you, and as we like to do this time of year, it kind of meshes college and the NFL. So I'm looking for the college that has the most Super Bowl appearances by a quarterback. I'm going to give you number one is Michigan with Tom Brady, and it's just Tom Brady. So that's the layup. I'm looking for who's second, and there's 2 schools tied with 7.
Okay.
Start racking your brain about quarterbacks and what college they went to and how many times they went to the Super Bowl. Doesn't have to win the Super Bowl, just Super Bowl appearances.
Okay. That's a great trivia, bud.
Yep.
All right, Brian. You ready to dive into it? Let's bump some Chris isn't here, and I feel bad, but we got to bump it anyways. It's time for your Cleveland headlines. Before we get into the head coaching search of your Cleveland Browns, we will get into a legend staying in Cleveland. Bri, Jose Ramirez worked on an extension with the Cleveland Guardians. He is staying here pretty much for the rest of his career. And I can't thank him enough for that. So what are your thoughts about Jose ending his career as a Cleveland Guardian? He came up and he stayed here. What an awesome news this is for Cleveland sports fans, especially with Jose Ramirez being one of the GOATs here.
Yeah, I guess I'm not too surprised, just based on what he did for his last contract negotiation with the Guardians. But it's like a total mind blow if you compare what he did to like contract negotiations of the great Cleveland Browns as of late, or Cavaliers as of late. Just seems like it's pulling teeth. And then like this is almost like an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, Jose signed for, was it 7 more years? And a modest like 25 million or something like that, if memory serves me correct. And it was just like, oh yeah, he's staying in Cleveland, no big deal. And it's just the agony we had to go through with the LeBron, negotiations the first time, the second time, and then him leaving for Los Angeles, what we went through with Myles Garrett. And, Jose is just like, yeah, I'm happy in Cleveland. I make a ton of money. I have enough money for my kids, and I'm good. I like it here. I like this organization. I'm just going to stay. And like to the normal person, that makes so much sense. That if you're happy and you're making a ton of money, why not just stay where you're at? And these other guys they get so caught up in legacy. And, I heard somebody saying the other day, like, if he was a Yankee or a Dodger, how many MVPs would he have by now? And, it's hard to argue that line of thinking just because he's been so consistent. Maybe even if he wouldn't be the best player for one particular year, he's just top 3 every single year. So eventually they give it to you for your line of work. And he hasn't won it, so let's give it to him because he's been so good over the last 5 years. But no, when you're in Cleveland, they don't give you that benefit of the doubt. So as far as legacy concerned, they can cram it up the cram hole. I don't care about that. And clearly Jose doesn't. Winning is important to him, but it's not the most important thing. So it's very refreshing to have an athlete like that in Cleveland. And I feel like Cleveland appreciates him, adequately. Yeah, it's hard not to take him for granted because he shows up year in and year out and he produces. And even when the team around him isn't up to par, they find a way to get it done, and he's just producing time and time and time again, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's scary to think of what this organization would be without Jose Ramirez.
Mm-hmm. And to think about it, like when he wasn't one of the top prospects coming out. He wasn't, I remember when he was coming up throughout the minor leagues, Brian. I mean, he was a young kid. He didn't have dreads. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just a young cat, and just 7-year extension. I mean, that keeps him here until 2032.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't give him the Bobby Bonilla contract to be like, hey, obviously we can't afford a lot of things, but we can stretch this out over about 40 years for you. And,
if he wanted to, I'm sure he could.
I'm sure he could too. I'm just happy that he's here. All right, Bri, we got to get into it. This head coaching search is 23 days going right now. We've had 3 candidates withdraw their name. We've had other coaches be hired. We've had our former coach be hired. And right now, and I'm not going to say breaking news, but from what is going on and what we're hearing, and it's, from the guys here at the network, and I can't thank them enough for keeping me in the loop and kind of helping out with this, but it sounds like from what everything's saying behind the scenes that Shieldhouse might be our new head coach going forward. I don't know what to think about that, honestly, right now. I mean, he's a young kid, 30 years old. I know the process, and there's been multiple reports about the process, especially from Tom Pelissaro, that people are having to write an essay, that they're doing all this weird stuff with it, and the Browns are data-driven with this process, which, of course, they are highly data-driven to begin with. But trying to figure out what's going to go on with Jim Schwartz after that. Probably he'll stick around as a defensive coordinator, kind of like the McVay when they had, who was the defensive coordinator out there when McVay took over?
Was it Wade Phillips?
Yes, Wade Phillips.
Was it?
So it might be a situation like that, but we'll see. I don't think that we're going to get any news breaking about it tonight, but it'll probably be tomorrow at some point in time. But Bri, if this is true and these are, this is going to happen. I mean, how do you feel about Shieldhouse now that I can pronounce his name right this time?
There you go. Yeah, we're all we can pronounce it. I don't know if any of us can spell it.
Oh my God. And then I got everybody in here. Jesus, Brian's here. Shieldhouse going to go to the Super Bowl. We got Slosh Sports saying wrist up. Here we go. All Shador fans. We'll get into Shador here in a little bit.
Pro Bowl quarterback, baby.
They need to cancel the Pro Bowl. They need to just do away with the Pro Bowl. My God. My God. All right. So
I thought for sure that was clickbait when I saw it, like Shador named to the Pro Bowl. How stupid do you think I am that I'm going to click that story?
Well, you should have, because it's true.
God bless. Hey, it's what Browns fans have been clamoring for years. A Pro Bowl quarterback in his rookie season? Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't sign up for that?
Brian, I don't egg these fucking people on, please. Jesus, you're getting my blood pressure up. Here we go. Here they are. First Pro Bowler since Derek Anderson. Pro Bowl. Here we go. Pro Bowl. Oh my God! Now you.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
My God. All right, let's get back to the coaching. I can't talk about.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a whole off season to talk quarterback. I feel like as Browns fans, we've just been twisted and pulled in all sorts of directions to where up is down, down is up. I don't know what to think. And we come back to, if you're realistic about it, how appealing is this job really? So the fact that we didn't even talk to Sean McDermott, probably shouldn't surprise anybody. We really never had a shot at John Harbaugh. Shouldn't surprise anybody. I know some people think that all we have to do is throw a ton of money at you and you'll just come be our coach. Like Mike Vrabel. How did they ever let him get out of the building? They should have just given him a blank check. It doesn't really matter. It's more about opportunity and position to succeed. So you figured it was going to be slim pickings. It was going to be older assistant coaches that might have one or two shots left at being a head coach, and it's going to be young up and comers who are maybe a few years away from really being ready to be a head coach. And so that's kind of what it's ended up being with Monken and Schwartz and Shieldhouse and Udinski. So the fact that I feel maybe a little bit better if it turns out to be Shieldhouse than I would have with Udinski, because 30 years old is young. I have a hard time believing that you can command a locker room at 30 years old with zero NFL playing experience. Now, if you played in the league for 6 or 7 years, then you were a coach for 2 or 3, and then you could step in. You might have respect that way. But yeah, Steelhouse maybe is a little bit different because he's had experience in a couple of reputable organizations and programs. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was he with Iowa State?
He was.
He was with, so he played quarterback at Illinois. He was at Iowa State. He was with Sean McVay and the Rams. So, like, Matt Campbell certainly has been a hot name for a long time. Us as fans, we really don't know, me included, what he really does in these organizations. But he has a piece of successful head coaching staffs. And from what I heard, he's a Midwest guy. I think he's from like Louisville or something. So, I'm hopeful. Admittedly, I don't know a ton about him, but just the limited amount that I do, I'd probably place him ahead of somebody like Udinsky. I still wanted Schwartz, but maybe it wasn't realistic to think that Schwartz could be the head coach, and then we could get an offensive coordinator like a Shieldhouse, because he might just say, "Well, I'm just going to stay with Los Angeles," rather than getting caught up with the Cleveland Browns organization if I'm not a head coach. So, be it Shieldhouse, be it Schwartz, I've kind of made my peace with both of them. Monken would, maybe be a little bit of a letdown, but between Shieldhouse and Schwartz, I can get excited about both those guys.
Okay. I mean, it's a younger guy. I think the thing that scares me the most, Bud, is there's going to be bumps in the road.
Oh, sure.
And that's what I was kind of hoping, that we would get an experienced head coach. That way we wouldn't have the growing pains that we're going to have with a rookie head coach. And now I'm not saying
I'll let you get back to it real quick. Here's the thing. Like, if you ask a realistic Browns fan, nobody thinks we're going to compete for anything next year anyways. So, like, let's get the bumps in the road. Let's get the growing pains out of the way within the next year or two, and then hopefully we can start winning, I think would be their mindset there.
Okay, so Brian brought up a question here, and he said that he's seen many reports that Jimmy Garoppolo might be coming with Shieldhouse. Are we interested in Jimmy Garoppolo?
I wouldn't be interested in Jimmy Garoppolo. Can you make a case that he would be our best quarterback? Yeah, you'd probably make that case. And I don't really know Jimmy G's age, but I think your best chance at getting a quote-unquote franchise or long-term quarterback still comes between Shedeur and Deshaun. I know people are done with Deshaun, but look at the reclamation projects in the NFL as of late. Look at freaking Sam Darnold. People left him for dead the same way they're leaving Deshaun Watson for dead. So to tell me there's a 0% chance you could turn it around, I beg to differ. But yeah, I think with Garoppolo, that's a short-term play. You're just thinking about like next year and the year after. You're really not trying to get any closer. And as we went through with the training camp last year, there's only so many reps to go around. So to have 3 quarterbacks that you're trying to have a 3-person competition, two is the limit for me. 2, unless you trade Deshaun or cut Deshaun or trade or cut Shedeur, give me a 2-person competition.
Yeah, I don't want Jimmy G. I wasn't a fan of Jimmy G coming out. Not a fan of Jimmy G now, because you know what you're going to get out of Jimmy G? You're going to get about 4 games, and then he's going to be injured for the rest of the year. That's what you're going to get out of Jimmy G. Oh my God, here we go. There's just people are chiming in. Matthew, I just need the suspense to end. Yeah, it's down to what us and the Raiders, I think, are the only ones that haven't hired a head coach. Who else is?
Did the Cardinals hire someone?
I don't know, but
I don't know
mean,
either.
I mean, it's just I'm just kind of 23 days is a long freaking time, and you at least got to say the Browns did their damn due diligence and strung this along, and actually, went for second and third interviews. The only thing that scares me though is Bry, all these people sitting there claiming, hey, yeah, we had a second interview, and then they just pulled it out. Udinski, Joe Brady now getting hired with the Bills. We had Minter pull his name out of the race. Mike
Daniel
pull his name out of the race.
Mhm.
Right? It's kind of concerning to me that these guys are pulling their name out of the race. And it might be because, let's just say the Browns are like, hey, we kind of got our guy that we want. If you guys are still interested, stick around. But with that many people pulling, I haven't heard that many people go, yeah, I'm going to withdraw my name from this. Have you heard of a team that goes through and had 3 or more people withdraw their name from the head coaching search in the middle of it?
I have not, but I think part of that is the national media loves to crap on Cleveland. Honestly, like there, if somebody pulls their name out of the Cleveland Browns job and the Buffalo Bills job or the Baltimore Ravens job, you're going to hear predominantly that they pulled out of the Cleveland Browns job. Oh, and by the way, also, they're not really concerned with this other guy. Yeah, they love the narrative that, oh, another guy pulls out of the Cleveland job. So yeah, I'm not too concerned with that. I think like the Minter stuff, yeah, he knew he was going to Baltimore. These other guys, it's hard to argue. The McDaniel stuff. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. This isn't a great opportunity for anybody. So these young guys, they think, okay, let me put in my time, and if I'm a candidate now, let me give them another year or two, and then I'm going to be a candidate for some of the best jobs, like a Ben Johnson was last year, like a Liam Cohen was, where they have better opportunities, more chances to be successful. And who knows, maybe the Browns will be a desirable place in 2 or 3 years. I can't say otherwise, but to go back to the Cardinals job, and if you find out that they hired somebody, then okay, they have not. So how that affects the Browns is, it sounds like they're seriously considering this offensive coordinator for the Rams, which is LaFleur, Mike LaFleur's, or Matt LaFleur's brother, Mike. And so he's the Rams' current offensive coordinator. And so if he goes to the Cardinals, that means Shieldhouse will probably bump up to the offensive coordinator for the Rams. So he's going to have to decide, does he want to be the Rams offensive coordinator or does he want to be the Browns head coach? As we saw with Mike McDaniel, to be an offensive coordinator in a very high-flying offense and bide your time for a year or two until these other better jobs open up might be more attractive to him. So don't be like shocked if Shieldhouse decides to stay with the Rams, or we hear that somebody else got the job, because he's 35, 36 years old, 35. Something like that, 35. So he still has a long head coaching career ahead of him if he wants it. So to be the offensive coordinator with Sean McVay and with Matthew Stafford, in a year or two, he'll be able to pick his destination. So, that's why the Browns are maybe going all in on him, or very intrigued by him, because they know in a couple of years he's going to be a hot commodity. So if you're going to have a chance at him, you've got to go after him now.
Yeah, I'm nervous. That's all it is, Brian. You know me. I'm nervous.
Oh, regardless of who we hired, you're going to be nervous. Unless we hired a John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin or Sean McDermott, which wasn't super realistic. You're going to be nervous.
Right. What do you think about this year in the NFL, with especially with all the openings? Let's be honest. You got the Steelers opening. You got Bills opening. You got the Ravens opening. these aren't jobs that open up that often. And it was this year was like the weird year. And it was like, holy shit, like really? They actually moved on? Okay. They moved on? Okay. What was your take when all this kind of was going down with the other teams around the area? And like, even like, hey, Mike McCarthy going to the Steelers. Like,
How about that?
I mean, what did you think about like the Bills, the Steelers, the Ravens, everybody kind of parting ways with their tenured head coach?
I think first off, teams are sick and tired of not, getting to where they want to go. And so they're looking to make changes, and they saw this year is a prime opportunity with Mahomes and the Chiefs struggling a little bit, and then Mahomes getting hurt. It's prime opportunity to advance in the playoffs. And, teams like the Ravens and the Steelers and the Bills not really making it any further than what they have over the last 2 or 3 years. I think it frustrated them. And, it comes out now with the Ravens that they were looking to move on from Monken. They didn't necessarily want to get rid of John Harbaugh. They wanted to make some changes to improve their team, and they designated Monken to be their scapegoat. And so they told John Harbaugh that he had to get rid of him. And then Harbaugh said, "No, I'm not going to." So they said, "All right, it's either we get rid of Monken or we get rid of both of you." And he said, "All right, well, you can get rid of both of us." So I feel like it was just some knee-jerk reactions to the moment, like the Bills. You're going to sit there and tell me that Joe Brady is a better coach than Sean McDermott? That's what they hope. Maybe it ends up turning out that way because maybe they get a couple breaks with Josh Allen. But Sean McDermott, the coaching's not the problem. It's just, you had some bad breaks. You're missing a field goal. How's that on the coach? Having a ball ripped away wide receiver. How's that on a coach? You give up 40, 50 yards in 13 seconds. How's that on the coach? It just comes down to players not performing in crunch time. And so, I think just a lot of knee-jerk reactions. And other teams, not named the Browns, are going to benefit from these moves.
Yeah, but it's just such a weird year in the NFL. Just a weird year. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just been so weird.
Oh yeah.
Weird. Like you said, we'll get more in the Super Bowl next week because we got a bye week before the Super Bowl, right?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, congratulations to Seattle and New England for making it there, and everybody. Even though New England's path was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought that they would just roll over Denver, and they did not. But quite the opposite is the narrative. A lot of people are saying Denver had or New England had a very easy path, but in a year where Mahomes and Lamar and Burrow don't make the playoffs, your path is going to be relatively easy. And then Bo Nix going down with that injury, and they haven't looked great. I'll tell you that much. No. The Patriots did not look like a Super Bowl team. Defense, maybe. Seattle's looking pretty tough, though.
Right. Yep.
All right, we'll get into that next week. Bri, what do you think about former head coach of your Cleveland Browns not getting a first ballot Hall of Fame?
It's certainly surprising. I don't know. I don't know how to think about it. My first thought was, they probably just think that he's coming back to the NFL at some point. So why put him into the Hall of Fame now? But that's what makes it weird with coaches. It's different than players. I guess you only have to be out of the league for a year if you're a coach. But I mean, look at his numbers. I think it's primarily a non-factor. He's getting in at some point. I guess it's maybe a talking point when there's not a whole lot going on in the sports world right now for 2 weeks anyways. So, certainly a surprise. Raised some eyebrows.
Yeah, I was chuckling a little bit. I'm like, so it was Tom Brady and not Bill Belichick that won all those Super Bowls. And
Well, I mean, that's been proven. After he left, they weren't very good. I think Mac Jones made it to one playoff.
yes, but then after that, it kind of
Terrible.
yeah, it got.
But
terrible.
that's why they were able to draft Drake May, because they were so bad.
Now, there's one thing I'm going to do on our show that I normally don't do that often, Bry, and I'm just going to shut down the conversation now and until the end of time. Never again are we going to talk about Mike Vrabel being in the building and not being head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, come on.
Bry,
Just throw $50 million at him. He would have been our coach.
The fuck he would have been. My God, we already had a coach here, and coaches normally don't step on each other's toes, especially with the tight-knit group that they all got. It wasn't going to be like, hey, sorry, Kev, they offered me more money. You're going to be fired, but I'm going to bring you back as the offensive coordinator. Like, yeah, that's going to fucking happen. It wasn't going to happen. He didn't want this shit show. When you're behind the scenes of the shit show, Bri, you don't want the shit show.
If you were going to hire Mike Vrabel, you would have had to do it immediately after he was fired by the Titans. And
Yeah,
that would have meant firing Kevin Stefanski after his second playoff run with the Cleveland Browns in 4 years, and just doing it with Joe Flacco, making it to the playoffs with Joe. Let's not forget, we were all singing his praises after that playoff run. How could he do this with 5 different quarterbacks? He's a great. Just imagine if Browns had fired him after that and then hired Mike Vrabel. And who knows if Vrabel would even come at that point. At that time, you had a Deshaun Watson. I guess we were still kind of starting to buy back into him, but you didn't for sure have a franchise quarterback, and it definitely wasn't the New England Patriots who he played for with a 23-year-old franchise quarterback. And so yeah, I try to give that thought the benefit of the doubt, but the more I think about it, the more it wasn't going to happen. Just wasn't in the cards. Last year, especially, there's no chance we had at him. They fired Rob Mayo with hopes of getting Mike Vrabel. They had him in the back pocket the whole time.
I'm just tired of hearing it, Bri. Every morning.
Oh, you'll continue to hear it. How could you let him leave the building?
Every morning, I listen to
lazy narratives.
And it's just like, you had your coach here. It was Mike Vrabel. I'm like, he wasn't. Like, are we back on this again? Like, it feels like it was 3 years ago, guys. Like, come on. He wasn't going to stay here. He wasn't going to want any part of this. And now I did want to ask you the narrative, and I wrote it down here in my notes from last week, and we didn't get to it last week, but this is always brought up with the Cleveland Browns, and I want to know, is this narrative ever going to end? And Bri, it is always the next year's draft with a quarterback. Last year we're like, oh, we're waiting for this year's draft. Well, this year there's only one quarterback really coming out. Oh, no, it's going to be next year's draft. Oh, it's going to be the following year's draft. That's when we're going to get our quarterback. Bri, I think after 30 years, we would have looked into something by now. And we haven't even done it now. Do you think this is just going to keep going on it's going to be always next year's draft that we're going to find our quarterback? Always next year's draft. It's not this draft. We're going to wait till next year's draft to get a quarterback.
Yeah, it's always going to be the narrative until you find somebody. Yeah, but that's the same way with any NFL team, to be honest. You know what hushes that? Who's that?
Not the Bills.
Yeah, because they found their guy. Yeah, it's hushed. Once you find your guy, it's hushed. You don't have that conversation. When you're the Steelers, you don't think they're having that conversation? Like, is this going to be the year we find our quarterback? They're sick of going 9-8, 10-7, and losing in the first round. Yeah, it's always now. That doesn't mean you have to draft a guy high. Look at this 49ers. They draft a guy, they get lucky and find a guy in the 7th round. Look at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure they're having this exact conversation last offseason. When are we going to get our guy? We have to draft. Why didn't we? I guarantee there are a ton of Seattle Seahawks fans last year saying, why don't we draft Shedeur Sanders? We're stupid. We're morons. And then, they signed Sam Darnold, and it couldn't have gone any better, and they will not have those conversations anymore. But until you find that long-term solution, you will always have, hey, what's this draft looking like quarterback-wise? Well, nobody good in the first round. Okay, let's start looking to next year's draft. If they draft somebody like Garrett Nussmeier in the 3rd or 4th round and he turns out to be Dak Prescott, guess what? We're going to stop having those conversations.
Carson Beck, baby. Carson Beck.
Drew Aller. Get a guy. You don't know until you throw him in there. Carson Beck's your guy?
Should we just go the old school method and just draft a quarterback every round until we actually figure out the quarterback?
Theoretically, that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Right.
But then I go through the torture of this past year's training camp where you have 4 quarterbacks competing for one job and you have 2 guys that can't even get on the field. So I would love that, but you don't have enough reps to do that. That would be smart. That would be very smart. Odds would tell you we'll find somebody eventually.
We could treat it like a Survivor TV show.
Yeah.
Like the Browns quarterbacks. They just tried that. Well, they only got 2. Punk Media. They only got 2. And one's 5'4", and the other one's Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowler. I got to put it out there. Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders.
Don't you put quotation marks around that. That's legit Pro Bowler.
That's bullshit, Brian.
That's legit.
Brian, they need to do away with the Pro Bowl. Let's be honest. Let's have an honest conversation. The Pro Bowl needs to go away. It just
the Pro Bowl's like the WWF. It's a show. Shedeur Sanders brings in a lot of fans, a lot of eyeballs.
Brian, that's fine. If they want to have a show, don't call it the Pro Bowl anymore. Just call it like the NFL Showcase and see if there's guys that want to come and hang out. Don't put the label like beforehand. It used to be like a prestige thing. Like I'm 11-time Pro Bowler. Now Shedeur Sanders, who played 6 games, 6 or 7 games this year, is now a Pro Bowler. Tyler Huntley was a damn Pro Bowler. What the hell are we doing?
7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Pro Bowler.
Punk said merge with the WWE. Well, they tried that before. It was called XFL.
Oh, right. He hate me. That's my guy.
All right, Brian, let's get out of this. Let's talk a little bit of Cavs. Cavs have won a couple in a row. Actually, I think they won like 4 in a row. Beat Orlando on the back-to-back. Brian, what do you think? What do you think about the Cavs now? Like, we were in kind of panic mode because they were getting their asses handed to them every week. Jalen Tyson? Which Tyson is it?
Jalen. Jordan could be a Brown, though.
Jordan could be a Brown. We could have both Tysons in Cleveland.
That's right.
Jalen Tyson got named to the rookies team, or not the rookie, but the second year.
Could be. Absolutely.
Team. He's playing his ass off. I'm loving this team right now, Bri. A lot of young guys stepping up. I'm loving seeing Tyson. Love seeing Craig Porter Jr. Still got a lot of guys injured. I mean, Garland's back on the bench, injured. Strus is still out. DeAndre Hunter was out again. Are we ever going to have a healthy team till we get to the playoffs, or is this just going to be what it is until we get there?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's one of the knocks on Darius Garland for his whole career. And I hate to every week in, week out, continue to bag on Darius Garland and Jared Allen, but I mean, it's time, please. We got the trade deadline, what, in 2 weeks, maybe? Something like that? 3 weeks?
Let me find
it's coming up. Yeah. So find a way, even if you don't get equal value, I think it's just time. If you can find a way to get something from Darius Garland, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's terrible, but Tyson can be our 2 guard, or Strus can be our 2 guard when he comes back. Because Donovan Mitchell is kind of a smaller guard, so that will give us some size. No, it's Jared Allen. Just give me a behemoth down low who's going to be physical, push guys around. I don't care if he can't make a shot. It goes back to what we've been talking about for years, and I'm sick of talking about it, and people are sick of hearing me talk about it, that you have 2 small guards that basically do the same thing. You have 2 big men that basically do the same thing. So Darius Garland's a poor man's Donovan Mitchell. Jared Allen's a poor man's Evan Mobley. So let's try to change it up a little bit. It hasn't worked in the past. Again, and you're probably not going to get equal value. Darius Garland's going to go off to maybe a good team and be their 4th or 5th best player and probably hit some big shots if he ever stays healthy. So you're just going to have to get over that. Give these other guys some minutes.
And I agree, Bri. After watching the game last night, I mean, Jared Allen does some things, but like watching and hearing one of the Cavs,
Mobley does the same things that Jared Allen
exactly.
does. But better.
And hearing and younger.
And younger.
And also hearing Brad Daugherty last night talk about Mobley and saying, like, everybody wants to turn him into this unicorn. You can win with him right here. And it showed last night. Like, he came out hot. Not the focal point. Obviously, Mitchell is always going to be the focal point. But they started playing the 2-man game between him and Mitchell. And, man, they started carving it up. By the way, I do have to give myself a little high five. I made a little $5 holla bet last night on
okay.
Money Mitch after the first half. And I picked him to score over 44 points. He scored 45. So
that had a big one. What were the odds at that point?
It was plus money. So I ended up doubling my money pretty much. So I ended up doubling my money.
So what do you have at halftime? Do you remember?
26 at halftime.
Okay. So yeah. So probably not a huge payout, but hey.
No, I mean $5.
Any bet won. Yeah, any bet won is a good bet.
So fun time last night watching that. Dropping 45. He was hitting from everywhere. And like I said, Jalen Tyson, just the hustle, the defense that he does. This Cavs game is getting fun to watch, and now they're starting beating teams they need to beat, like Orlando. They're in a tough stretch right now. I don't know who they got coming up next.
Well, they got the Lakers coming up soon.
Oh, Wednesday.
LeBron's final. So tomorrow, or is it next Wednesday?
No, this Wednesday.
Okay. Possibly LeBron's last trip home.
Possibly. So they got the Lakers. They got the Suns after that on Friday. So they got some tough games coming up here.
This is all they have to do, like most of us have said. Just what did I hear today? We're the 5 seed now. So if you can get to the 4 seed or something like that, and hopefully playing your best ball in March and April and healthy, that's all we can ask as Cavs fans. And nobody's running away with the East, unless you're afraid of Detroit.
Detroit's starting to get a little dinged up right now, bud. Cunningham's a little injured. The only thing that scares me, though, right now is Mobley got a little calf strain. And he's out.
Let him rest it. Don't let it turn into Achilles.
Don't do that. Don't pull Kevin Durant.
No, a lot of guys, or a Halliburton, or a Tatum. A lot of guys. Yeah.
All right, Brian, you want to talk some food, buddy?
Yep. Let me run out real quick while you play the intro here.
All right, let's do it.
And now, it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
All right, Brian will be back here in a second. Let me keep the camera on. I ain't messing with it. Tonight we're talking about foods that you ate, whether it be too much as a kid or too much as an adult, and you kind of like, I don't know if I want that tonight. And I'm starting to get that way with certain foods. And I'll go first. First one for me is spaghetti. I'm not saying that I don't like spaghetti, but we have spaghetti a lot. I know growing up we had spaghetti a lot. Now, if it's my mom's sauce and she's not watching right now, it would be a little bit of a different story. But just like plain spaghetti, like I don't turn my nose up to it. I'll eat it, but man, I gotta be in the mood for spaghetti. Now, anything else, pasta, like if it's penne pasta, lasagna, all that stuff, it's a different story. But spaghetti for me is one. And right now, and I have to say, Bry's back. The next one for me is we do it all the time before the kids. Kind of getting burnt out on Little Caesars pizza, even though it's great. Just kind of getting burnt out on it because I like a lot of toppings, Bry, and my family is a cheese and just a pepperoni, so I kind of have to like get my own. But the first one I said was spaghetti, Bry, and doing spaghetti, ramen noodles. Now that has changed. My flavor has come back for that. But for a while, I kind of turned my nose up at ramen noodles, just because I ate it so much through college, everything else. Bri, is there any foods that you kind of like, you had so much that you're just kind of like,
Yeah, when I think back to my childhood, the two dishes that we seem to have all the time, and I'm like you, I'll eat them still, not burn out on them, I would say, but I think back to my childhood and we just had it all the time. And one of them in particular was barbecue chicken. We used to do like barbecue chicken on the grill a lot. Just for whatever reason in my mind that sticks out. And I'm with you, spaghetti. We seem to do spaghetti a lot, which now being a parent, I understand why, because it's pretty easy and it tastes pretty good.
well, it's easy to eat.
Yeah, right. And my mom would make it. My grandma would make short spaghetti, which was actually pretty good. So I kind of missed that a little bit. But so those were the two meals that we had. And then the notorious one I've talked about here, you brought up before we got on, was fish sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Used to always have fish sticks growing up. And it kind of has ruined me for all seafood. And my mom and I chuckle about it because she claims we didn't have it that much. But yeah, maybe it was just the anticipation and the hope that I had. Oh, maybe it's different. Maybe it's mozzarella sticks this time because they look the same. Nope, fish sticks again. And so just the disappointment would set in. But I got a list here, so I'm gonna kind of go rapid fire. And these are things that I had a lot growing up, and I don't have that much now because I feel like, not that I won't eat them, but I just feel like it's run its course. I've had it enough, and now I'm an adult. I can make other choices. The first one, grape jelly. I'm a strawberry jelly guy now because we always had grape.
Wow.
So
okay, so no grape at all.
No, I'll eat it, but if I have a choice between grape jelly and pretty much any other type of jelly, I'll go whatever else they have. Strawberry all the time, all the way.
Okay.
And then I got a couple of cereals, which the cereals, I have two cereals, I have two snacks, and I blame my mom and I blame my brother because I feel like they were his favorites. So my mom, this is just what I remember in my mind. This could be completely false.
Damn you,
but
Matt.
in my mind, I'm like, mom bought them for Matt, and she never listened to what I really wanted. She just bought his favorites. And so the cereals are Golden Grams and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Do they still make Golden Grams? Do we know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Golden Grams, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then the two snacks. Maybe my dad had something to do with it because I remember he loved just the plain goldfish, no flavoring, just the regular. We would get these big, like, they almost look like milk cartons of goldfish. They still make those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then we would get the plain, regular Twizzlers. Like not the pull and peels, not the just the regular Twizzlers. So again, all that stuff isn't bad, but I've had enough in my life. I'm looking for something else.
Yeah, I got to pick. We did, and I'll eat them. I'm not saying I won't. Frosted mini wheats.
Yes,
We
I
had a
agree
lot.
with that. That's another one. Yep.
We had a lot of those, and I'm not saying that they weren't good. Another one, and I just kind of got back on the kick. Cornflakes.
Okay.
I just as a kid, you ate so many damn cornflakes, and like stuff like that, like plain Cheerios, just plain Cheerios. I know one that I'll even admit, and I'll have them as Rice Krispie treats, but it's been a while since I actually had the Rice Krispies cereal.
Mm-hmm.
There's one
Sure.
right there that you had enough as a kid. Brian, I'm not gonna lie, like, even though look at me, love hot dogs. But like hot dogs might be on that list for me too.
Hot dogs in general. Wow.
Yeah. And Brian, it's not that I won't eat them. Like I feel like summertime, but like, we make them for the kids. The kids love them. And like every time I make them for the kids, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to have a hot dog. And I'm like, no, I'm really not going to have a hot dog. Is there any potato chips that you're kind of like burnt out on? Because I know one for me, like right now for me, it's the original Lay's.
Yeah.
I can't
Sure.
do the original Lay's anymore.
Yeah, I'm burnt out on those, but I feel like I was never really in. No, we were never really a potato chip family. And maybe I wish now being an adult, because I kind of go towards those a lot, but because I didn't have them growing up. But
Yeah.
no, and go figure. That's what my wife likes. That's her favorite flavor. Plain.
Oh God!
Give me a
no.
break.
You gotta
Plain
go
potato
barbecue or
chips.
something. Just go get barbecue. Like,
Oh,
there's
I do. I
super
just do it
flavor.
behind her back and pay a lot more for it.
Hot dogs are great on the grill.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are. Of course they are. Yeah, I'm telling you that. Yes. What do the kids say? They still slap for me. A plain hot dog, or ketchup and mustard. Yeah, all day, every day. Probably till I die, I'll be eating hot dogs.
We're gonna have to get you in the hot dog eating contest next year.
I'm not saying I can eat a lot. No, absolutely not. But I could eat them every day, probably.
No, I'm saying me and you next year, right next to Nick Weary, while he's eating 44 hot dogs. You and I are just pinkies up.
Could you? That was. I feel like this was I saw a fantasy football punishment for the losers. Like how many? Like I think you had Joey Chestnut eats like 70 in 10 minutes or something. So the punishment was you have to eat 70 hot dogs before you can eat anything else. And how long would it take you? Like how long would it take you to eat 70 hot dogs is 10 a day. So that's substantial.
Oh, now is
How
it
many
just
days would that?
Hold on, is it hot dogs or the buns included?
Oh yeah, buns included. Oh yeah, just like they do. So you have to eat 70 hot dogs consecutively, and all you can eat is hot dogs. All you can drink is water. How long is it going to take you?
There's no other food that you can go with that?
Nope. Can't dress them up. Just the same way they do it.
Oh, you can't even put mustard or anything on them?
Nope.
Oh my God, that's the most horrible.
It's a punishment.
Ever.
Yeah, it's a punishment.
Oh my God, I would guess probably 2 for breakfast, 4 for lunch, and maybe 4 for dinner. So that it would be 10
Right.
days.
A week. It's a full week. It's a full week. Mm-hmm.
Unless I want one for a snack halfway through the day.
Yeah, I feel like after a day and a half, you're going to be over it. It's going to be a legit punishment. So you just gonna have to power through. I feel like if you power through just like they do, you could maybe hammer 12 or 14 down a day.
Yeah.
I don't know the calorie intake, so I don't know.
Are we
the
really worried
specifics
about the
about it.
calorie intake at that point in time?
No, I'm just saying, like, how many calories would 10 hot dogs be? Would that be a full amount? Would that be a double your daily amount? Would that be like average? Like, because you can't, for 7 days, you can't stuff yourself. You'll be miserable.
Well, you're going to be miserable anyways. You're eating nothing but hot dogs, right? I would try to stuff myself just to get it done with.
No, I would. Well, I don't know. Might be a good diet, maybe. If that's all you ate for a
Just
week.
hot dog diet. Just
Hot dog, yeah, just because you're not going to want to eat them. So you just won't eat.
You do it now, you won't touch a hot dog till the 4th of July.
Oh, at least I'm sure. The worst part about it is, like, if you could put ketchup and mustard on it, yeah, I feel like that would be maybe a little bit of a treat. But just eating a plain, if we go to a tailgate or something like that and they don't have condiments, I'm just not eating a hot dog.
Now, hold on. Do we get to choose the hot dogs? Or are they like the cheap hot dogs? Or are you getting like the good, like Snap, like Nathan's hot dogs? Like, what do we?
Yeah, sure. If you want the good, you can't have like the cheddar cheese brats or anything like that. But if it's a plain hot dog, yeah, that's what you can do.
So you can't have the cheese hot dogs that are delicious?
Correct.
Ugh. God.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take over the
no,
the Fat Boy Tuesday, because I thought that was comical.
This is what I love about our show, because we get into topics like this, and both you and I are like trying to do math, which is funnier to begin with, because us doing math is just like cavemen trying to draw the first picture on the wall. But I think I think I could do it. If you give me your best time, I think I could do it in 4 days.
4 days would be what, 15 a day ish, maybe 16 or 17. Quick math. No, it would be less than that. 15 would be 30, 60, 75 would be 5 days.
It'd be 17 hot dogs a day, 17 and a half hot dogs a day.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could. If there's a smaller ones, like, what do they serve at Guardians games? What's the dollar dogs?
Oh,
what are those? The Sugardale. Yeah, Sugar. Yeah. If there were Sugardale dolls, I feel like, I feel like that's in play. Okay. Do it that way. So the other fantasy football punishment that I threw out to my wife was, you have to spend 24 hours in a McDonald's, but you get 1 hour subtracted for every burger you eat. How many hours would you spend in the McDonald's? She said 10. She said she could do 10. So that means she's in there for 14 hours. I feel like I could do more than 10.
Just the regular burgers?
Well, yeah, that's where we got hung up to. I would say a McDouble. A McDouble. How many McDoubles do you eat?
Oh shit! Throughout the entire man, and no French fries, no nothing, just McDoubles.
Oh, you could eat French fries if you wanted, but you're just taking up space in your stomach.
I could probably eat, I would say 15 McDoubles.
15 McDoubles, that would be 9 hours.
Yeah,
I feel like that's fair. Yeah, might be able to do more. I don't know. I feel like if you know your challenge going into it, you might starve yourself like for a day or two before you go in there.
Oh, you can't starve yourself a day or two. Well, you got to really.
I mean, not like not eat anything, but I'm saying like eat very little so your stomach is ready.
Wouldn't you want to eat a lot so you stretch it out so that you could have more?
I mean, if you want to, talk to Nick Weary about that, but that's going next level. All right, like thinking about that.
All right, Super Bowl week next week. Obviously, it's going to be appetizers. Do we want to bring Nick on next week and talk some Fat Boy Tuesday and how to prepare for Super Bowl foods?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I kind of did a because I knew this snowstorm was coming for Sunday, and I knew I wouldn't be leaving the house, so I kind of went out Saturday night and got some goodies for Sunday. So Sunday I had a good time.
Yeah, we made I kind of pre-prepped because I knew I wasn't going to be home. We had beef and noodles. Oh God, it was good, right?
Were you able to watch any of the football on Sunday?
I was. So we got kicked out. So I got there. Oh God, right around between 5 and 5:30, and we got kicked out right around 3, maybe a little bit after. So I didn't watch the beginning of the Broncos game. I watched more of the Seattle game than anything.
Well, there was nothing
working
to watch.
Coming home, just like I was like, eh. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready to do our top 3 and then end the show with our trivia?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Bri, it is cold outside. It is negative wind chills. We're going to talk about games that you do indoors. We're going to rank our top 3 games that we like to play indoors. And I'll go first to kind of give you a little bit of a guideline.
Sure.
All right, so number 1 for me, well, number 3. Let's go number 3. Number 3 for me, we are a card family. And we play cards all the time, but number 3 has got to be Uno. You can't go wrong with a good old-fashioned Uno game. Fun times, people cussing at each other, got to have fun. We also, honorable mention, Euchre, which you and I played a lot.
Sure.
Also, Hazy, which is kind of double Euchre, and Hand and Foot. Number 2, for me, Bri, Monopoly. Now, that game's going to take a while. It's going to get evil. People are going to cuss at each other. But Monopoly is a pretty good game. And Bri, number 1 for me, and I have not played it with the kids yet. And I can't wait to it because I remember this game taking hours upon hours upon hours. Bri, Risk.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Yep.
Get a good couple of your buddies over to the house. You sit down, you start playing Risk. 10 hours later, you guys wake out of the coma like, what the hell just happened? And pretty sure at that point in time, Poland ended up winning the whole world. What about you, bud?
I never really got in. My grandma had Risk at her house, and I had some older cousins that would play it all the time, and I never really understood it. So, but Monopoly, sure. We love Monopoly, and yes, it would take forever, and eventually you just give up. Okay. So my number 3 is maybe recency bias because I played it 2 weekends ago with the cabin. I told you that we went down there, and I had a cousin who must have seen it on TikTok or something, but it was a genius thing. It was Guess Who. Remember the game Guess Who?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. But it was customized, so it was all our faces of everybody who was at the cabin.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, so it was so much fun. And so, we kind of tried to steer away from the typical questions. Is it a man? Is it a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Is it this person wear glasses? Do they have dark hair? So we tried to steer away from like the typical questions. And I had a couple cousins that were really getting creative with their questions. Like, could you beat this person in a race or would you be surprised if you saw this person running a mile? Could you drink more beers than this person? Like fun questions like that. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. So if you're out there looking for something to do in the cold, I would definitely recommend that.
That's awesome.
My number 2 is a game that I have some friends who have it, and I think maybe my wife and I might have got it, but we don't play it very often because you kind of have to play with a group. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Wits and Wagers.
No.
Okay, so it's Wits and Wagers, and they ask you a question, and one question that I can remember is the fastest recorded an animal has traveled. So you would think like a cheetah or something, and so you have like these dry erase boards, and so you write your answer down.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetah, maybe 70 miles an hour. So you might put 70 miles an hour. So everyone writes there, and then you line them up like lowest to highest. And then you have these chips, like poker chips, that you place your poker chips on what answer you think is correct. And like, not to give it away, the fastest is like 200 miles per hour. And it's like a bird, a falcon or something, like diving down to get its prey. And so it's a fun game because it's a lot of questions that have like this wide variance where everyone might have like a different answer. And then you show all the answers and then you have to bet on who might be closest. So that one was a lot of fun. And then, whoever has the most chips at the end kind of wins. So that was my number 2. And then my number 1 is simple. euchre. It's classic. You can play it for hours on end. Yeah, like you said, the more people you have, 6-person, 8-person euchre they got going at the cabin. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah, we used to, and it was a cheaper way to play, but we used to bet like 25 cents a game and then 50 cents for euchre. And then that way everybody starts out with like $10 and you see where you end up afterwards. But man, I'm not going to lie. You and I were like the euchre kings.
Mm-hmm.
I miss playing at work. I mean, that used to be, hey, get your food, sit down at the round table, let's deal them up. It was either that or golf.
Does anybody play euchre anymore?
Dude, I know.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, it's just quiet. I don't even know if they know how to play euchre.
Get it going. Teach them up.
I'm trying, Brian. They're younger. They're kids.
I know. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. With that generation, what do they play? Or they just sit on their phone and play games there?
It was a ninja game, and I don't want to get into it. I saw it the other day, and I was like, "What?"
Oh, the fruit game where you slash it?
No.
Slash the fruit?
This was like actual like invisible ninja. Like they're going against each other, and it's called like One Step Ninja.
Oh, you play it with somebody else sitting right
Yeah.
next to you?
Yeah,
Huh.
and they make a move,
Okay.
and then you have to make a move. I don't know. I'm
Like
too old.
Magic
Yeah.
card, Magic the Gathering. Do they still
Oh,
have that?
jeez. Here we go. All right, Brian, let's do our trivia, which is brought to you by City
Yep.
Dogs Cleveland. Hey, it's cold outside. You want something to warm up to? Go get it. City Dog from City Dogs Cleveland.
Absolutely.
All right, Brian. Trivia, you said, oh my God, Super Bowl and winners and colleges, right?
College with the most appearances by a quarterback. Appearances. Doesn't have to be wins.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to go with, let's go Notre Dame.
Yeah, good guess. 7.
Okay, that would be the Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, Joe Theismann, and some guy named LaMonica.
Now, here's the one where I'm going to go off the wall a little bit. I'm going to go BYU.
No, I don't believe
Oh.
BYU was in the top 50. I have the top 10, but I don't think they're in the top 15.
Alabama?
Alabama's close. They had 6. Bart Starr, Joe Namath, Stabler, and they had Jalen Hurts. So I guess that counts.
One more guess, and I'm going to go Tennessee.
Tennessee was in the top 15, but they only had Peyton Manning. I think maybe have 4. So Stanford was the answer because they had John Elway and Jim Plunkett.
Oh,
7.
I forgot about John Elway. Okay. Where did
Ohio State in the top 15.
Where did
by
Jim
the
Kelly
way.
go to school at?
He went to the U, which I think the U was in there. Remember, they had a run where they had Testaverde, Bernie, Jim Kelly, and I feel like they had somebody else like Gino Toretta or something.
Chris Winkie.
Florida State.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. 45-year-old Chris Winkie.
All right. All right. We're here at the end of the show. We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do. Also, our military. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys do everything so we can do some stupid stuff like this on the internet and have fun doing it. Bri, it's time to God bless them.
God bless you. God bless America.
We want to thank Bri, you ready for this? The 280 that have tuned in live tonight. We want to thank you guys. Keep it coming. Give us that like and subscribe on all of our socials at Ham Illegal, at network_216. Go give us a follow, like, have some fun with us. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded, and we are out. We will see you guys next Tuesday.